Russian oligarch and billionaire Roman Abramovich is in the news for all the wrong reasons. He's been red-listed just about everywhere, and all of his assets have been either seized or frozen due to his links with the Kremlin, and specifically with Vladimir Putin, as part of obviously the severe sanctions against Russia and its oligarchs because of the brutal war that it's engaged in over in Ukraine. Now, he appears to have made the vast bulk of his wealth from the 1995 purchase of a Russian oil company in a rigged auction, where he pretty much paid off people to make sure that he got it for peanuts. I mean, he's even admitted to that bit, and there may also have been a kidnapping or two, according to some reports, to stop Chinese buyers from gazumping him. So, he spent hundreds of millions and then 10 years later sold the whole thing back to the Russian government for a staggering £13 billion. Come on, that just feels like he was simply given free money, surely. Now, Abramovich is said to be worth about $12 billion. Wowzers. I wonder if that's all his, or if some of it actually belongs to a certain friend of his. You know, somebody who likes to ride horses, bare-chested, and bomb hospitals, killing pregnant women and children. Aside from Roman's much talked about high-profile ownership of the Chelsea Football Club, he owns like the biggest and most expensive of, well, everything really, including a £150 million mansion in Kensington's Billionaires Row, a £28 million townhouse in Belgravia's Eaton Square, a £430 million Solaris super yacht, which has its own radar-controlled missile detection system, by the way, and, of course, a Boeing 767 passenger jet. And that, of course, is not everything. So what about his cars? I guess being car guys, that's what we're really interested in, right? And boy, he's got some iconic beauties. He's got at least £16 million worth of cars. And these are the ones that we know about. I mean, he's probably got loads of, well, ordinary cars as well, including 20 Teslas that he bought for friends and family, apparently. Except that they were like, oh, yeah, thanks, Roman, as they stood there sort of just holding and twiddling the cables in their hands and wondering what to do with the dead EVs. Well, there was no charging infrastructure in Russia at the time. No. So looking at his classic car collection, most of which you can't actually drive on public roads, like, for example, the track-only £1.2 million Aston Martin Vulcan from 2015. Only 24 were made in carbon fibre, of course, and apparently you had to get the manufacturer's permission to drive one. Do you think he does that? Nah, I don't think so either. The Ferrari 488 is a great driver's car. I'd have a Spider any day. But again, Roman's got the track version, the 488 GT3. The £675,000 racer was used in endurance racing. And he has a £1.6 million Ferrari FXX from 2005. Only 30 of these were ever made, and they were prototypes. They were using customers as kind of development drivers. They were, in fact, an even more hardcore version of the Ferrari Enzo. Bizarrely, Roman also then has the Maserati version of pretty much the same car, the MC12 Corsa. I suppose he saved a bit of money, as this one's only £1.1 million. Yeah, like he cares. Again, for track-only use. Does anyone know, is he actually a good track driver? The Mercedes-AMG GT is a great road car. I've driven on the road. It's a pretty sweet German muscle car. But again, he has the £300,000 GT3 track car, race car from 2015. Not content with that, I guess, he's got an even more racy £1 million Mercedes CLK GTR. Pretty much a Le Mans racing car, that one, winning GT championships in the late 90s. You really need to know what you're doing to pedal one of those quite hard. The Pagani Zonda is one of the most beautiful exotic cars to see and to be seen in. But again, he bought the Zonda R, which has the engine out of the aforementioned CLK GTR, and only 15 of those were ever made, cost of £2.5 million, and again, they were track toys, couldn't be driven on the road. And when it comes to Porsche 911s, not any 911 will do for Roman. He has the racing version, a 1.7 million late 90s 911 GT1 Evo. So what can he actually drive on the road? Well, apparently the first exotic car that he was seen driving in London was his £120,000 Ferrari 360. That's probably been left parked in the back of the billionaire's row mansion, I'm guessing. Today his daily could be a £840,000 Lamborghini Reventon from 2007. A bit rare though, because only 21 of those were ever made, and I think Ralph Lauren has got one of those. How about his £650,000 Porsche Carrera GT? Although really, that's a car that from reputation should actually really only be driven on the track. And even then, if your first name is Walter and your last name is Roll. Now I guess out of those lot, his £1.5 million Bugatti Veyron is easy enough to pedal about town, despite its crazy 250 miles per hour plus top speed. It's a pretty docile drive, I know, I've driven one, easy peasy. However, by most accounts, his favourite way of getting around town appears to be chauffeured in a pair of fully armoured and in fact bomb-proof £1 million each Maybach 62 limousines. An oddity in his collection is a 1979 Rolls-Royce Corniche, which he apparently paid £285,000 for back in 2006. Why? I mean, these cars are probably worth, well, under half that even today. Well, it's all down to the number plate that came with it. VIP1. Now that number plate alone today is estimated to be worth about £500,000. Throw in the car for free, I guess. But hang on, it's not any car because the car itself has some provenance. It was bought and plated thus by the Irish government to be used by Pope John Paul II when he visited there in 1979. Quite a lineup there, but of course with everything that's happened, one has to wonder A, where are these cars, and B, what happens to them next? Could they be confiscated and end up at auction, with the proceeds going to the victims of the Ukrainian war? I think that would be the right thing to do, don't you? In which case, we should start saving our pennies.
A big shout out and thanks to Jay Williams over at Air Technic, who are top tier sponsors of Brown Car Guy. Check them out at Air Technic Co. UK for exhausts, brakes, suspension and body kits. Plus our other major sponsor, Nayagen Solutions. Much appreciation also to Tier 4 sponsors, Muhammad Ali Humaid, Tom Conway Gordon and Reza Adil. And of course all these other guys who supporting on Patreon. Brown Car Guy is eternally grateful. Hey, think about joining them over at patreon.com Brown Car Guy. If you can't, don't worry. Just make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel and website. Plus follow on social media by searching for Brown Car Guy.